Your phone rings. The caller ID shows your bank. A calm, professional voice speaks your name. The accent matches your city. The rhythm of speech is familiar. They say there's a suspicious transaction on your account and they need to confirm your one-time password. No robotic edges, no awkward timing. It sounds like the same person you spoke to last month, so you give them the code.
And just like that, your account is drained.
That is called vishing voice phishing. And in 2026, the attacker did not need hours of recordings or studio quality audio. They needed 3 seconds of your voice from a YouTube short, a voicemail greeting, or a TikTok video, 3 seconds. That is all it takes to clone your voice with 85% accuracy.
3 seconds? How is that even possible?
It is possible because of a technology called zero-shot text-to-speech. And to understand why it is so dangerous, you need to understand how it works. Old voice cloning systems needed hours of clean audio from a single person. The model had to learn every sound that person could make. Training took days on expensive hardware. That approach never scaled because attackers cannot collect 1 hour of audio for every target.
So what changed?
2 things. First, companies trained massive models on millions of different voices. Instead of learning one person from scratch, these models learned a universal mapping between text and how humans speak. They learned what makes a voice sound like a voice. Second, researchers developed something called speaker embeddings. Instead of treating your voice as raw audio, the model compresses it into a mathematical fingerprint. A vector that captures your timbre, your accent, your pitch range, your speaking rhythm. All of that from a 3-second clip.
So the model already knows how to speak. It just needs to know how to sound like you.
That is it. Once this universal system exists, cloning a new voice is not training. It is just plugging in a new fingerprint. You provide the text you want it to say and a 3-second audio snippet of the target. The system extracts the speaker embedding and generates speech that sounds like that person. No fine-tuning, no retraining, just a new voice at runtime. And with optimized code on a single GPU, the latency can drop below 100 milliseconds. That is fast enough to run in live phone calls.
So someone could be having a real-time conversation with you and you would not know it was AI.
That is what is happening right now. The Guardian reported last week that deepfake fraud is happening on what they called an industrial scale. A startup called Evoke discovered that someone had used a deepfake to impersonate a job candidate through an entire interview process. The fake candidate passed multiple rounds of technical interviews using AI-generated video and voice. They were only caught because something felt slightly off to one of the interviewers.
That is terrifying, but job fraud is one thing. What about the really scary stuff?
The really scary stuff is the fake kidnapping calls. In January, InvestigateTV reported on a wave of scams where criminals use AI voice cloning to call parents and convince them their child has been kidnapped. A family in Beaumont heard what they believed was their daughter screaming and crying on the phone. A man came on the line demanding money. The voice was their daughter's voice. The panic was real.
Was she actually in danger?
No, she was safe at school. The entire call was generated from audio scraped from her social media. 3 seconds from an Instagram story was enough to clone her voice well enough to fool her own parents.
I feel sick just hearing about that.
And it is getting worse. The FBI reports that more than 4.2 million fraud cases have been filed since 2020, with over $50 billion in total losses. A growing portion of those involve deepfakes. Deloitte projects that AI-facilitated fraud losses will hit $40 billion per year by 2027, growing at 32% annually.
$40 billion. That is not a niche problem.
It is not. And here's what makes 2026 different from even 2 years ago. The tools are now open source. You can go on GitHub right now and download voice cloning models that run on consumer hardware. The Biden robocall deepfake during the 2024 election cost $1 to create and took less than 20 minutes. $1.
So anyone can do this?
Anyone with basic technical skills and access to the internet, which in 2026 means essentially anyone. Qwen 3 TTS, the model that was just released, supports 3-second voice cloning out of the box. It is free. It is open source. It runs on a single GPU.
I feel like we should not be telling people how easy this is.
Here's why we should, because the scammers already know. The people who do not know are the people getting scammed. Your parents, your grandparents, the person who picks up the phone when they hear a familiar voice in distress. The only defense is awareness.
So, how do you defend against this?
There are several layers of defense, and they work together. First, the family safe word. Pick a word or phrase that only your family knows. If someone calls claiming to be in an emergency, ask for the safe word. If they cannot give it, hang up. This is the simplest and most effective defense.
That is so simple, but I bet almost nobody does it.
Almost nobody does. Second, verify through a separate channel. If your bank calls you, hang up and call the number on your card. If your boss sends an urgent request, call them directly. Never trust the incoming call, even if the voice sounds right. Third, be careful what you post online. Every voice clip, every video, every voicemail greeting is potential raw material for a clone. You do not need to go silent, but think about who can hear your voice.
What about the technology side? Can AI detect AI?
It can, but it is an arms race. Companies like Resemble AI are building audio watermarking systems that embed invisible signatures into AI generated speech. The idea is that any AI generated audio would carry a watermark that detection systems can identify, but watermarking only works if the cloning model cooperates. Open source models can strip watermarks or generate audio without them.
So, it is like antivirus versus malware. The defense is always one step behind.
Right? Deepfake detection systems are getting better. They can analyze micro patterns in audio that humans cannot hear. Things like the way AI models handle breath sounds or subtle inconsistencies in formant transitions between phonemes, but the generation models are also getting better at hiding those artifacts. It is a constant back and forth.
This is going to change how we trust everything. Is it not?
It already is.
Think about what trust means when you cannot believe your own ears. When a voice on the phone could be anyone. When a video call could be entirely synthetic. The Guardian article described a case where every single person on a video call was a deepfake, every participant, and the victim had no idea until money had already been wired.
Every person on the call was fake?
Every single one. This is what researchers mean when they say deepfake fraud has reached industrial scale. It is not one person with a laptop anymore. It is organized operations running sophisticated pipelines targeting thousands of people simultaneously.
So, what does the future look like?
The future is going to require a fundamental rethinking of how we verify identity. Passwords are not enough, voice biometrics are not enough, even video is not enough. We are moving toward a world where cryptographic proof of identity becomes necessary for high-stakes interactions. Digital signatures for voice calls, verified video streams, hardware-based authentication that cannot be faked, because it relies on physical devices rather than biometric data that can be cloned.
Until then, what should people do today?
4 things. Set up a family safe word today. Do not trust urgent calls, even from people you know. Call them back on a number you already have. Think twice before posting voice content publicly, and tell the people in your life who are most vulnerable, your parents, your grandparents, the people who still answer every phone call, because right now the best defense we have is not technology. It is awareness, and 3 seconds is all it takes for that defense to fail.
3 seconds. That is the number everyone needs to remember.
3 seconds to clone your voice, 3 seconds to fool the people who love you, and 3 seconds to decide whether the voice on the other end of the phone is real. The technology is not going away, but if you know how it works, you have already taken the most important step.